Investigate his claims. Examine the evidence. Make your decision.
Then the leading priests and Pharisees called the high council together.
What are we going to do?
They asked each other.
This man certainly performs many miraculous signs. If we allow him to go on like this, soon everyone will believe in him. Then the Roman army will come and destroy both our temple and our nation.
Caiaphas, who was high priest at that time, said,
"You don't know what you're talking about. You don't realize that it's better for you that one man should die for the people than for the whole nation to be destroyed."
He did not say this on his own. As high priest at that time, he was led to prophesy that Jesus would die for the entire nation. And not only for that nation, but to bring together and unite all the children of God scattered around the world. So from that time on, the Jewish leaders began to plot Jesus' death. As a result, Jesus stopped his public ministry among the people and left Jerusalem. He went to a place near the wilderness, to the village of Ephraim, and stayed there with his disciples. It was now almost time for the Jewish Passover celebration, and many people from all over the country arrived in Jerusalem several days early so they could go through the purification ceremony before the Passover began. They kept looking for Jesus, but as they stood around in the temple, they said to each other, "What do you think? He won't come for Passover, will he?" Meanwhile, the leading priests and Pharisees had publicly ordered that anyone seeing Jesus must report it immediately so they could arrest him.
Jesus was now on the most wanted list. He could no longer teach publicly in Jerusalem. Lazarus became the local sensation. If you wanted to see the power of Jesus in that day, Lazarus was exhibit number one. He was dead, but was now alive. And many were believing in Jesus because of Lazarus.
6 days before the Passover celebration began, Jesus arrived in Bethany, the home of Lazarus, the man he had raised from the dead. A dinner was prepared in Jesus' honor. Martha served, and Lazarus was among those who ate with him. Then Mary took a 12-ounce jar of expensive perfume made from essence of nard, and she anointed Jesus' feet with it, wiping his feet with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance. But Judas Iscariot, the disciple who would soon betray him, said, "That perfume was worth a year's wages. It should have been sold and the money given to the poor." Not that he cared for the poor. He was a thief, and since he was in charge of the disciples' money, he often stole some for himself. Jesus replied,
"Leave her alone. She did this in preparation for my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me."
When all the people heard of Jesus' arrival, they flocked to see him and also to see Lazarus, the man Jesus had raised from the dead. Then the leading priests decided to kill Lazarus too, for it was because of him that many of the people had deserted them and believed in Jesus.
Mary appreciated Jesus as her Lord, and she honored him by giving him the best that she had. This nard, which was worth a year's wages, was used to anoint those who were going to be buried. She understood that the death of Jesus was coming soon.